Boo! All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from. Hopefully everything's working okay. I'm having problems getting my streamer deck going. I hope all is well. I took yesterday off. It was my son's birthday, and we had gone to Great America, Six Flags Great America, north of Chicago. Traditions mean a lot to my son. Hope are you doing well? This is whatever Wednesday, and it's whatever I feel like doing. And right now, whatever is kind of not working. I can't get my deck to work, and I don't know why. I've got logged in, and it keeps telling me that there's a timeout. Touch portal's working, so it's not Wi-Fi. Oh well. So it was a relatively warm one today, in the lower 80s, which actually really beautiful. It was beautiful yesterday. It was a beautiful day for my son's birthday. We had a good day. Come out to dinner afterwards. I though am getting much older, and the rides, I just don't handle the rides like I used to. It's I am aching all over, and I even did a bunch of stretching yesterday. Um, I helped a bit with the walking, but then going on Superman, it's like always the same rides that we go on, all the rides that they have there. My son loves the Superman ride, so that's all the first one that we go to. And then Batman. And then he wanted to go on the Joker, and I'm like, no way. Because there's a lot of flips and backwards in that. We went on X-Force, and what else? Yeah, we didn't do a lot. I mean, we got there. They don't have long hours yet. They're only open till 8 in the evening. I think in another couple weeks they'll be open till 10. So we can spend more time there. The lines weren't too bad. There were, school is just about out in our area. Um, but I think a bunch of kids came in from school. They had, it was quite a few school buses there. Lines weren't too bad, but they would like only have one set of cars going because there wasn't a whole lot of lines. Like, why don't you have two? Like Superman takes uh there's 8 rows, 4 seats, so 32. Mr. Stoney, how are you, my friend? Um, let's talking about going to the amusement park with my son, me and my wife. Um, Unfortunately, his one buddy that he hangs around with the most doesn't like going outside and doesn't like rides. So he he'll go by himself. I mean, he'd rather enjoy it with someone with him and that. And I can't handle, Tony, you're older than I am, You're gonna go on some amusement park rides? But they're doing a lot of work on Six Flags Great America, improving it, adding some stuff to it. There was some kind of doubtful will it go on. A lot of their parks have been closing. Okay, no background music, so I have to burp it. Thanks, Tony. There we go. How's that for you? But I can't get my deck to work. My StreamerBot deck. It keeps telling me that there's a timeout, and I re-signed in on my desktop, and I re-signed in on the tablet. What the hell? It's always something. Um, I'm checking out um a couple of plugins. They're not official on the OBS plugin site, but from our streamer friend Boom So Much, who I got the cross chat from a while back. He's been working on some plugins, but he's getting kind of crap. I understand, but he has used he's vibe coding, I guess. He's creating some stuff like I did. Now I don't put any of this stuff. None of it is plugin worthy. It's stuff I created myself, and it's either from StreamerBot or works in conjunction with OBS, but not as a thing. But I'm using some AI to do that, and so he said it's been a long time dream of his to make a couple of plugins. He's trying to find a way to make a little extra money. So he created a source transition plugin manager. It's a source transition manager. He's getting kind of crap from the OBS team because he vibe coded. But I can tell you, probably most of the people making kind of look like I'm in a wardrobe. I do have the door open today. There's the bird. The bird cage is right there. Um, it is warm. We don't put on our air conditioning unless it gets in the near, like the house gets in the 90s, into the 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So, got windows open and that. And if I shut the door, it gets just too warm in here. And no one's home right now. So actually, he's being really quiet. And for a little frickin' bird, I call him our little rooster. These doves, these little doves, they're diamond doves. They're actually like this from Australia. They're beautiful doves and on all that. They do have a nice, but boy, when he gets loud, I call him our little rooster because at like about 5:45 in the morning, he is squawking. He's ready to go. And unfortunately, right now he's by himself. His mate had passed. She died about a year and a half ago now, I think. And they were made it pretty good. And uh, they are fragile birds. This guy's tough though. He's kind of tough. Loud. But he's gonna show his lungs in a little bit. He'll like, oh, Steve's talking to someone. Okay. You can kind of see him there. Yeah, you know I'm talking about you, don't you, Clark? Yeah. So I had the door open today. Go my messy bedroom back there. Well, let me go to desktop left. So Boom So Much made this. It only works on Windows. It's not on Linux. I'll talk to him about that. No, um, and if you've used OBS, you know that there is in each um, we'll use this one as example to monitor and that there is a show transition and a hide transition. So if you close it, you can have a choice of fading, swiping, sliding, fade the color and all that. But sometimes if you once you change it to a transition, it closes and then you have to open it back up again to select how long you want the transition to last or how short you want it to last. So Boom made in a dock now, you click on the product and you change the transition as you see it and the duration right here by just clicking on it. And it couldn't be simpler. It is really a nice little thing. And then you have the option to apply it to all sources in the scene. So if you're in the scene and I want it the same transition, which I don't, it can change it. So um, let's see. Well, let's give it a try. So um, we'll do a fade and we'll do a semi fast fade showing, and then we'll do a fade about the same time. So now if I close the monitor, it'll fade in and out. This is so much easier than having to go left click, show transition. Now look what happens if I click swipe. Oh, this comes up. If I do okay, well now I have to go back in the show and go back into transition and the times in it. Too many steps. It's kind of ridiculous. I've always hated that. I don't hate a lot in OBS. I think it's pretty good, and they do a lot of nice things in that. But this was a good idea by Boom So Much. Again, if I, oops, I'll tell them about this. So it doesn't change in here if I change up there from swipe. Ah, okay. So I'm going to do a clip off of this and send it to them. So Boom, I want you to check out something. I got your source transition in here, and I here I did both the fade, but in here I changed it to where swipe when I showed its transition. But if you happen to change it here, it doesn't change it on your. I have to refresh it. Okay, I have to click off of it and click it back in. And now it, because I had them both on fade. So if I do this, okay. So you pretty much have to close and open the dock again for it to refresh. Here's an idea for it. Computer, make a clip. Hopefully my computer's working that way. If not, we'll do it again. So another thing that he created. Now I stopped using Zoom a while ago, but I saw him post something on OBS, and um, I guess he wanted to tell people about this. But OBS is really big on self-advertising, and then they wouldn't look at his plugin because it was vibe coded. Um, Even though he says he has other people that looked at it and that. Um, you see up here now, I have a new um doc, and it's called Feeds. Well, you can now log in. So he's got this set up to where I can log into Zoom, and I will be able to take the feed, the audio and video feed from Zoom. I won't have to grab the whole Zoom. It will take it, and I will be able to put it in as a source. So it's free for one, and then he's got a paid tier, which I'll show in a little bit. Um, we're gonna kind of give it a try. I have no one to test it out with, but I want to see how this works and if it causes any issues. So I'll do a login into Zoom, and it's bringing up on the other screen. So it's going to bring in the web version of Zoom. Oh, I got to. Oh, what other device? I haven't used Zoom. I let my wife use Zoom. I don't do the paid version anymore. I'll keep your account saved. Zoom will send a notification to the other device to verify the sign in. Tap allow. Which device do I have this on? Zoom's got a mail. I don't know. I don't want that. Okay. I'm not getting a allow, so I can allow this. What device did this go to? Shouldn't matter, should it? Okay, so it's not showing up on my phone. This is what I'm looking at. Check on the tablet here. Oh, there it is. So it showed up on my tablet. There we go. So Feeds would like permission to create a new meeting, view a user's Zoom key, types of data feeds it will access. All this. Okay. You want to allow public and private. Okay, we'll do allow now. It's Not quite, but it's kind of like Video Ninja. Now, I have not, I think I've tested out Video Ninja a while ago. Okay, so now, oop, on the feeds, now you have what came up is a connect to a Zoom meeting. So we can create an instant meeting or my personal room meeting. I don't know. So secret. Um, okay, so now I'll bring it over to this screen. A Zoom window opens up. So I think what I'll do, we'll pull it up. We'll go back to the phone. All right. Oh, close that. I'm surprised it's taking that camera. I was hoping I would get it off of here. Because OBS, if you're using a camera in OBS, I do have it shut down and that, so I won't be able to use the camera again. It's all testing live, folks, with Boom So Much from his Let's Do video. It's not pinging up on my phone, so I'll have to learn about that. Those. Oh, come on. What do I get for not knowing what I'm doing? Here we go. Nope, I don't want that. All right. I'll have to learn how to connect. Probably have to sign into another and send a meeting thing to that. So what I'm looking at is this now. So let's see what Feeds does. Oh, I know. I get it. That's right. So now it shows up down here. We can do, you can, I guess he's got it so you can grab the chat from Zoom. The chat pop-up, the Zoom participant, and the Zoom screen share. So we'll just do a participant. We'll leave it Zoom participant. Wait, this is okay. All right, this is a little off there. So Yeah, I think what I have to do is I have to have another account. Or never mind. Let's see. I didn't click join the meeting. Let's see. Oh, I guess I already got up here. Waiting for participants. I don't want to grab the audio off of there. Okay, I got a little step further. Waiting for participants. Probably because this is my account and I'm not considered a participant. I'm the host. But we did get a bit farther. So, how do I want to work this? Cancel this for now. So I think I would have to send. Let me send an invite. Yeah, let me do it this way. I'll send it to my non-Google, my non-associated email with it's not associated with Zoom. I'll do, see if this works. Okay, now I just lost. There it is. All right, let's see. Oh, there I go. Oh, all right. I guess if so it's got to stay this way. So I have to kind of crop things. Oh, how can I keep my camera up now? All right. Ah, come on. There we go. All right, so we can crop it. This. So now, I guess, let me get myself. I could have a moving camera. There we go. So now, if I wanted to, that's so relative. It took me a little bit to. I watched this video yesterday. We were just chatting yesterday morning about this, and again, the free version, just one person, but I think this could be doable. I'm not about to go back to an open format kind of uh uh stream. I don't particularly like that anymore. My experience in doing it for several years.
Emotional damage.
Exactly, and I keep hitting my deck. So I have a stand here I can use. But it's here, let me show you. It's picking up zoom on this monitor here. But it's taking that individual stream from Zoom instead of me having to go in and crop, like grab Zoom and crop everything out. All right, once I got, I can turn it. There we go. Big head. Oops, I keep touching the deck. All right. Oh. Oh, we can do a live cam. So it's 720p free. 2027 720. The paid version is you use to 1080. But I think in most cases you're doing an individual. You're not going to do a full screen. And I guess my clip didn't get made before because I didn't hear the command on it. We do. I can't type. Oh, this shit sucks. I swear. There's my big belly. All right, Zoom. All right. We'll see how that clip comes out. I'll probably do another one. So my clip functions aren't working for me. Let me take a look what this looks like. Okay. I have to do the command. Okay. Here, look at the ceiling for a minute. All right. Let me, because it goes back 30 seconds. So, hey, boom. I wonder if, no, this is probably not, you're probably hearing me. It's not hearing audio. I wonder if I do something for the audio feed. But I got it working, boom, and no real issues. All right, we'll see how that clip goes. Earthquake. And then on my phone here, I'm picking up, actually, it switched over to this webcam and behind me. Okay. I know you guys can't hear that. Okay. I just want to show them that I tried it. All right, let's kill the meeting. Yeah, you can tell I haven't used Zoom for a while. I don't know how to kill my meeting here. There we go. Look at me, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a boomer streamer that is as dumb as a stump. Back to the meeting. Okay, I want to kill this. How about if I just end it here? We'll end it here. And meeting for all. There we go. God, that was stupid. Okay. Ah. Now let's see if it knocked my cameras out on the other scene. Nope. Put that one back. Oh, good. Brought that one back. All right. So that's using feeds from Boom So Much. Here is here's all right. So free version includes one 720p isolated video feed, just like we did. Ideal for podcasts and one-on-one interviews. It's 720 active participant speaker feed and full OBS studio integration, unlimited duration. Now, I don't know if because I am starting it and I don't have the paid version of it, if it will be unlimited. I know some of this is going through, and I don't know the particulars about his website. But then there's a basic for $9.99 a month, where it will unlock multiple feeds at up to three 1080p isolated feeds and the screen share. And coming soon, local ISO source recording. For the streamer, up to five 1080p isolated feeds, interviews and serious live productions. Yeah, Steve is being a Steve Slurm. I'll tell you, you don't expect much else from me. I'm not spending my money on this. I was testing it out. So, remember the link I sent you this morning? All right, Tony. I know I put you to sleep. That's why you come on. It's late. You can't sleep. What am I going to do? I'm going to watch Steve and he'll put me to sleep real easy. But thanks for joining, Tony. Take care. So this is that feeds that link I sent you this morning, and this is he's got some tiers here. And up to 1080p isolated film, So this is kind of like setting up a Video Ninja, but easier. I mean, I had a little bit of problems, but I got it pretty quickly. He's going to have coming soon AI background removal per feed, customizable Zoom chat overlay, and coming soon Stream Deck profile for feeds. And then he's got a broadcaster tier, professional grade for agencies and studios, up to 8 1080p. $80 a month is quite a bit. Up to 8 cameras, dedicated broadcast Discord channel. High priority response, I'm not sure. 25% off of the Let's Do video consulting services. Coming soon, exclusive broadcaster only scene collections. So I told him I would check it out and try it out. Now, like I said, I stopped using Zoom a while ago. I don't do any multiple chat feeds, but I guess if I wanted to now, I can add someone on for a quick one-on-one. As a streamer that, and I'll be honest, and if you're watching this, boom, a great, you're got a nice system going. You're set up as a streamer. I don't make money. So for me to go anything besides the free is not for me. Even at $9.99 a month. And then you get up to $24.99 a month. Now you're into the realm of what's stream what's the one with the duck? Because that's about $24.99 a month, and that's like 6 participants, and that's streaming to YouTube, but it's not going through OBS, it's a studio. And then the $80 a month in that. I hope you are able to do well with it, but as a a plain old streamer, I don't have a use for it. The single feed may come in handy once in a while, and you're on your video. Here, let me. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. I'll post a link to the videos that he's made for this. All right, that's a link to his video. Ba-boom so much. But I told him I'd take a look at it. I definitely, his source transition plugin. So it's a dock, and now you're able to change your source transitions instead of having to left click, show transition. And again, what happens is you show transition, you go down to change a transition, and it disappears. Now you got to go back in again, show transition. Now, if you want to change the timing on it, then you got to change the timing on it. And then the same thing with high transition. If you do and you change, you select it, now you got to go back in again and set the timing on it on the high transition. One of the things that kind of irks me in OBS is the show and high transition. So he made a dock for it that if you click on any source, you can change your transition right here, show and hide, and the timing, and then you're able to apply it to all sources if you need to. But I don't have a need for that. This makes it a lot easier to find and get into and that. So this is a nice creative app that he made. You will not find it on You will not find it in OBS. So it's not I don't know how well the OBS team, or if they test the plugins, or if that's left up to the creators. But because he did some vibe coding with it, they are not going to recommend it or allow it in the plugin store. And you can take a chance, I guess, with that. But Boom does stream on YouTube and Twitch. He's a nice guy. You know him on and off for the last year and a half or so. He's the one that's given me the opportunity, he put it out there, how to do the cross chat between YouTube and Twitch. And it is probably one of the most engaging tools that I use, because people are able to say hi to those on YouTube and vice versa. So good ideas in that. And then, like I said, the feed shows up here. I'm going to log out of Zoom now. Logged out. But tells you the about. This is the free tier. Looks like he might have it. Does he have it on a Zoom Marketplace? He does. So it's over on the Zoom Marketplace. Oh, man. So was it warm up by you today, Slurm? And there's Boom. I am still wiped out from going to Great America with my son and wife yesterday. Beautiful day. A lot of walking. That is a big park. I prefer, I don't know if anybody's ever been to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, right off the lake, is that Lake Erie? Erie Lake? I guess across, if it's on a clear day, you can see Toronto, maybe. Cedar Point has quite a bit of rides, but it's a much smaller part. A lot of their rides go over the walkways, so you have less walking to do, which is nice. Great America, Six Flags Great America. I've only been to two Six Flag parks, Six Flags Great America, and then Six Flags out in California. The California one is a killer because it's kind of in the mountains a little bit, so there's a lot of up and down. That's a killer. But and today was I planted some seeds. My garden. I gotta take a picture of my garden to show you guys. I haven't done that yet, but the garden's going pretty good. I had bought a electric tiller, not a battery operated one, but an electric one, from Sunjo. It's called the company's called Sunjo. They're here in the U.S. Um, Pretty powerful. It's I got to do a review on it. It did a good job on the garden. It gets up to 10 plus inches deep, but the handles are very thin. If I get a few years out of it, I'd be happy because I've just paid for. I usually have to go out and rent a tiller, a real good gas tiller, or even a battery operated one are a couple $100 or more, and they go up in price. And this one will do the job. I hopefully for a couple of years in that. And I tilled the front because here in the Midwest, especially around the Chicagoland area, and that we have a clay dirt clay soil that the dirt gets really hard, and after a while, it's hard for plants to grow. And pretty much, I will till it at the end, beginning of the season now, and I'll till it at the end of the season after all the plants go away. I usually cut down the we do hospices. Yes, I can talk today. I really can. Hospices up front. Hostas. Hostas and a hostas. I can't figure out why my deck's not working. Not connecting somehow, somewhere. The streamer bot deck, I'll have to look into that. So, but the short transition plugin is going to be very handy. I do change transitions quite often, and I just hate that you got to go back into it 2 or 3 times to get the transition just right. Ridiculous. So what else is happening? I know most people have just gotten back from Twitch Con EU from Rotterdam. Finite Singularity had been there. He is one of the, excuse me, big plugin creators for OBS. He's also working on the tools, the plugin manager. Right now, you can just see what plugins are installed. You can disable the plugins by just clicking here if they're doing problems. But right now, the updates in the browse don't work. He was working on that today. So this is going to be a pretty good tool, and this does also work on Linux. But if what I had noticed with this, and I asked him today in his stream. So I had basically copied my scene collection. Let me close this. My scene collection. I exported my scene collection from Windows, knowing that there's quite a few things like text and all that I have to change on Linux. But I copied over Linux, and there's about 4 to 6 plugins that are not installed on, or I can't get for Linux, that are strictly Windows only. And they would show up. What you'll see in the plugin manager is underneath here, you'll see a second setting, and it will have, I can't remember if it's plugin not found. To get rid of those, you have to go into the profile folder. No. Profile folder. settings folder, and click on plugins manager, and then open up this in a text editor or Vim or your whatever your choice is. And this is basically what you see. It's broken down, and this relates to those checkboxes. And if you delete these out, like the ones that weren't, I didn't have plugins for on Linux, I was able to delete them out, and they don't show up in that box anymore. So if you're using the plugin manager and wondering how to get rid of those, that's one way how to get rid of those. Oh, it looks like one of my clips did work. My clip command worked, it just didn't give me a clips are done, Steve. I'm just rambling here. It's like I said, it was a long day for my son's birthday, and I still have some time to waste. So I dragged you into it. So I've mentioned in the stream, you know, in the last couple weeks about it. My father-in-law passed away back in April. Lived a long life, was 80, 85, 86. I just turned 86. And I kept him somewhat computer literate. He was a very smart man, man. This guy knew numbers and finances and money, and was a was an unbelievable gambler and horse race enthusiast. Um, Remembers stats and all that. He can go back to when he first started watching baseball and tell you stats, or not just baseball, basketball and all that. And even in all his issues, his health issues and that, he never one moment lost any of that, which was kind of amazing. But what he couldn't get was the computer. And here he knew all this stuff, and he would go, Steve, just I'm an old guy. I can't do this. Well, I've been married to his daughter now for 36 years. And it was probably 30 years ago that I had been given some computers. My brother-in-law had got me set up. My sister-in-law, she went from a Gateway to a Dell, and so she gave me her Gateway, and then I fixed it up and gave it to him. And at that time, it was running Windows 95. And then eventually, my sister-in-law got another new computer, and she gave me the Dell that she had gotten. What Dell was that? It was one of the Dells that had the really odd, they were proprietary cases. You couldn't really put another motherboard in there and that, but it was a very nice looking case. And I knew Windows wasn't going to run on it. So hey, guy, you always hook up a new computer using Linux from scratch. You go do that, my friend. You go do that. I've never tried Linux from scratch. I've never tried Gentoo. I did Arch from scratch once and never again. But I had him on Peppermint 7. I was on Peppermint 7 at the time, and then up to through Peppermint 10. And then when Pepper went away, I had gotten some more computers from my brother-in-law, and it was a Dell Compact 8200, the ones you mostly see in businesses and retail and that, old workhorses, and a bit proprietary with the case. Not really. You don't do Linux from scratch. You're not you're yeah, okay. This is how you do Linux from scratch. Linux Mint install. And I put Pop OS on it. And he ran that for a number of years. It was the 2204 version. But in the last year or so, he had a real hard time. He was losing his sight. We had to do we had to do like 150% on the um, scaling and the web pages and all that. Because he would love to play, he would look up his horse racing and he would love to play solitaire. But that became fewer and fewer as his health really got bad. Well, bad news, he passed away, and his wife, my wife's stepmother, Steve, just take the computer, clean it up, whatever, do whatever you want with it. And then we were over at her house on Monday, and I picked it up in that. So it's a an HP Compact 8200, small form factor, but just designed to be worked on. I mean, it can come apart, a latch for the lid, the optical drive folds up, to make room. The power source folds up. Just got an i5 2500 Sandy Bridge chip. I upgraded the memory, so it's got 8 gigs of memory. I was kind of disappointed. I had a couple of older video cards, but they don't fit. You need a mini version of it. But the one thing, we would keep it up to date, but the one thing I hadn't done for it in a number of years is clean it out. So I got everything home, got it into my garage. The grill is just, I don't know how anywhere airflow was going through it. I took it apart, you just clips and easy screws. Excuse me. And I blew it out, brushed it out. I had a 500 gig spinning hard drive in there, but I put an SSD in there, 120 gig SSD, and he didn't need more than that. So I was able to replug in the 500 gig hard drive. So now it's got a big backup drive to it. I took the heat sink off, cleaned it up. It hadn't been repasted. I didn't even look at that when I gave it to him. All I know is when my brother-in-law gave me these compacts, I'm thinking they were never used because they were spotless. It's hard to get all the dust out of these things. Not the case this time. It was pretty dirty, but I didn't touch the paste because these are computers from 2011, 2013 era. So I clean it up. And what's cool, I like AMD chips, but the Intel chips are nice because they're just nubs, they're not pins. So you don't run the risk of bending them like I had in the past. But I repasted it, put it all back together. Turn I'm like, is this thing on? I mean, it was dead quiet. So is it a computer that I want? I have an idea for it. My wife is gonna say no, but I'm not gonna tell her until I do it. Hopefully she never watches this. Sorry, honey, I love you. You have three old compact desktops like that, yeah. So you can any Sandy Bridge chip you can put in there. So I can go up to an i7. So there's i5 2500. They mostly came with i5 2400. You can go up to an i7. Oh, what did I look up? Now I've seen two things that either the maximum is 16 gigs of RAM or 32 gigs of RAM, and it takes DDR3 memory. So I have 8 gigs of RAM in there right now. Um, so you could put an i7 2600 or an i7 2700 in it to upgrade it. And I watched a video today that the big from going from an i5 to an i7, because the i7 was 4 core, 8 threads. They ran a little bit better. But you could do a mini NVIDIA 1030 or 1050 in there, or a Radeon. Was it in this list here? You can up the power source too, but you'd have to order a 24 pin to 6 pin adapter, because the power source, I believe, I have to look at it a little bit better. I believe the power source is a 230 watt. Yeah, the i7s, yeah. So let's see. Graphics card compatibility. So we can do a NVIDIA GeForce GT 1030. I watched a couple videos where people put 1050s in there, or a Radeon RX 550, but both in the low profile editions. Now, yes, the drivers are kind of like slowly going out on some of these old ones, but um, I'm I don't know. I definitely know if I told my wife I was going to start digitizing our videos again, our DVDs, and making a server. As we get closer to the future here and we get older, there's less I want to have to leave her. I know on Linux OTC they talked about this on one of a previous episode of everybody brags about having their own home server. But now, if something, I'm the only one in the house that's going to be able to handle any issues in that. If I'm gone, you know, I'm I'm sure my son will want to keep this setup and all that up here, but something like that. But the monitor, it's a 24-inch monitor, 1080p. And I already have a laptop downstairs showing home slideshows. It would look better on a bigger monitor. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at it. So I was testing out today. So I cleaned it out for whoever. I reformatted the drive, and then I actually I didn't reformat the drive. So I was gonna test out the Pop! OS upgrade from 2204 to 2404, which would take it to the Cosmic Desktop, right? They want a lot for some of those old graphics cards. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I have an older Radeon 5380. So I forget the number on it. Then I have the 1080, or no, I have the 1050, and then I have a 1660. All that wouldn't fit in that. I did 1660 might be a little bit too strong for it. But it would boost it up and it would make it usable, a little more usable than what it is. But they were a workhorse, these stations and all that. Unfortunately, it's got 6 USB ports, 8, 10. So there's 4 in the front and 6 in back. So yeah, there were 10 USB ports. It did have the not HDMI, what's the DVI cable set up for monitors, so that was good. And VGA. It still has, and last I checked it, the DVD player was still working. But I really wanted to test out to see how that upgrade went, because I've done like 2004 to 2204 on Pop. That went pretty, um, that was flawless. In fact, my son, he's seen that, you can upgrade on the desktop, you can upgrade Pop! OS from 2004 to 2204, and he did it in one click, and it went fine. Going from 2204 to 2404 and the Cosmic Desktop is, I don't want to say borderline nightmare. It did go relatively smooth. There were no hiccups to it, except once I got into the desktop, the terminal wouldn't open, the store wouldn't open. At first, I couldn't get the file manager to open. Firefox opened, and eventually Chrome did open, but some of the other utilities, like the main one, the terminal and the store to update it, weren't working. So I tried to go into TTY and run the commands there. Kept telling me no upgrade needed or no update needed. Everything's up to date. Blah blah blah. No, the new 2404 Chrome, the new Pop! OS is based on Rust. It's their own new desktop. It's a brand new desktop. Very similar to looking to GNOME, but they got tired of working with GNOME and having to work, because basically Pop! OS was a customized GNOME desktop with extensions that would always work on Pop to give it its look. The Rust desktop is totally different. GNOME looking, kind of, but like it doesn't need extensions, and stuff that would be made for it could be made easier than waiting on GNOME and their extensions and that. But yeah, it's that. It's a Rust desktop, Papa West Cosmic, not ready for prime time. Sorry, I loved the 4 years that I was on Papa West. Great desktop, just worked pretty good with NVIDIA. The only time that it kind of screwed up was twice on an NVIDIA update. But yeah, couldn't get into terminal, couldn't get into the store. So I couldn't install anything. I couldn't update anything. It was you know, and I tried the sudo dpkg space dash dash configured space dash a the repair any missing things in uh the package manager, and no, there was no issue there. Ran a couple of other update commands, and no, nothing needed to be done here. It is, I think they rushed it too much. Um it's I kind of like it, but I especially like with something like OBS. Oh my God, was it horrible? I couldn't um like the docs in OBS. You couldn't do regardless on Wayland. You can't do custom docs. You can't do the chats and all that on Wayland. But some of these other docs, like if you download the Downkey Streamer, the Advanced Screen Switcher, multiple output, these should be able to be dockable, and you can't dock them. It was a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Uh, Actually, the alpha worked better than the beta, and then it went into a full release barely 2 years after they started developing it. Yeah, Wayland X11, Wayland's more secure, blah blah blah. X11, I know there's a fight about it. They're really, if you, I use Wayland on Endeavor OS because all I'm looking for is my OBS to play right. But because of them using the Chromium Beta framework, and Chromium people haven't gotten, it's moving along, but not at a fast pace. And then if you try to do X Wayland or things like that, you're just gonna fuck things up even more. If you're doing the kind of things you're doing, find a distro that works and upgrade only if there's a damn good reason. I roll the dice. I roll the dice. I do like an Ubuntu base for OBS because that will give you the closest Windows-like experience. Forget the Flatpak. It works if you do very minimal with your streaming and not a lot of plugins, and you're okay with that. Use it. I can't do this in Wayland. Or in yeah, I can't do this or in Flatpaks because no VLC is built into, there's a lot of issues. They're not even going to touch that, so I won't be able to do this. The Flatpak will work on all distros, but it's missing stuff. And for a basic OBS, I guess it's okay. 15 of my 30 plus plugins I can get. And I might be able, you might be able to get plugins to work. I did a test on Endeavor and uh, using AI, we created a script that grabbed all the plugins and all but four, and it was four that I needed, would operate in the flat pack. Too much work. I know people are going to Cache and Bazite because of gaming. I think flat packs are great, actually, for software and that. Yeah, they're great. The old Deb repos, they bite. They're old. You said it, old. But they work, and if they work okay, well, why update, right? Uh, I'm just bitching like a bitch right now. But I'm doing okay. Right now I'm on Windows. I do prefer it with setting up my streaming stuff. It is easier. Yeah, but they do work. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. And the birdie's been nice and quiet. I got the door open to get some air in here. It's fun to touch shit. What the hell? If they work. I think most software I use Flatpak. If it is um like system stuff, I will do the you know internal the deb if you're on Ubuntu, or Pac-Man if you're on Arch. And I don't see go oops. Um I get enough treats. Son's going for a treat. You're dog ass tired, just tired. You like Mint and Papa West older versions, apparently, from what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. No, the new Papa West, and you can't get the old Pop desktop on 2404. You can't. But basically, if you want, because I look at it like Zorin is just the same thing as Pop. It's the GNOME desktop, but with extensions in it that GNOME will keep up, unless you get the XFCE version. You installed Ubuntu 24 in a VM and updated Firefox with no prompting. Reminded me of Windows. Because I got Zorn on another drive here because I thought I was thinking of going back to an Ubuntu based, and I didn't want Kubuntu, I didn't want Zubuntu, I didn't want Ubuntu. So I tried Zorin. Carmine's always talking about Zorin. I thought Pop ran pretty quick. But anyway, I am going to jump off. I'm gonna warm up dinner for my wife because she's been gone all day. So tomorrow is Thursday Without Borders with Open Guesser, doing some geoguessing tomorrow. So come and join me for that. Computer, time to say goodbye. Hey.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
All right. Will the rolling credits work? Yes, they are. All right. My moderator was SiriBot. My viewer was SiriBot. And following Steve. YouTube video, my robot, and Slurm, and Guy. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. So tomorrow will be Thursday Without Borders. GeoGuessing. And that's been fun. I've been really enjoying that. So thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good evening or morning. Tony was going to bed. But take care, and yeah, I'll chat with you soon. So the tea is making me. Yeah. I'm too old. Bye.